Hi, my name is Amy with Yogi Perogi, and this class is intended to get us moving. I'm currently 36 weeks pregnant, and to be honest, it's getting a little bit more difficult to get on my mat, but I know the importance of getting moving, getting the hips open, getting our legs stronger, and of course that mental clarity. So I hope I can help you find that as well in your pregnancy, regardless of how far along you are. So let's get started in a comfortable seat. So I have a block resting right underneath my booty. If you have 2 blocks at home, go for it. If not, don't worry about it. You can also use books if you need. It's just to help bring the ground a little bit closer to us. I also like a blanket or a towel to place underneath my knees. So if you need to pause the video and take time to grab those things, you can. And then when you're ready, you can meet me in a comfortable seat. And just start to find deep inhales in through the nose. And gently part the lips, let it go. We'll just do that 2 more times just to get centered. And then another breathing exercise I like to start with is alternate nostril breathing. So if you bring your pointer and your middle finger right in the space between the eyebrows, we're going to alternate breathing through the left and right nostrils by plugging the nostrils with our ring finger and our thumb. So it might be confusing at first, but don't let it be. So again, with the the middle finger and the pointer finger right in between the eyebrows, we'll breathe in through the left nostril. Plug the left nostril with your ring finger, breathe out through the right. You'll breathe in through the right nostril. Plug the right nostril with your thumb, breathe out through the left. That's 1 cycle. Breathe in through the left nostril. Plug the left nostril with the ring finger, breathe out through the right. You'll breathe in through the right nostril. Plug the right, breathe out through the left. That's 2 cycles. Let's find 3 more on your own. And when you do complete that, just allow the hands to rest on top of the thighs. Palms up or palms down. The eyes can be closed or even looking softly at the ground. And finding that exercise, especially breathing in through the left side first, sparks that feminine energy, that soft approach. So reminding us it's okay to slow down, to find balance. Igniting that motherly instinct that lies within all of us. So finding that TLC for you. So blinking those eyes open if they're closed. We'll find a few shoulder shrugs here. So let's reach the shoulders up towards the ears and drop back and down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale and back and down. 1 more. And then if the legs are crossed, I recommend just changing whatever leg was in front for a moment, and we're stretching out the wrist. We'll bring that right arm forward, and let's pull the fingertips back. Make sure that right shoulder rolls down. And still fire up the core, so feel the belly pull in. And we'll find the other side. So pull the left fingertips back. Same thing, make sure that left shoulder is soft. and shake out those wrists. So we'll find ourselves in a tabletop position. So if you're sitting on that block, gently remove it. And you can actually place these blocks right in front of the mat. And we'll find our cat-cow. So wrists underneath those shoulders, knees hip distance, if not a little bit wider, should feel a little bit better for the hips. We'll look high towards the sky with your inhale, and then round the back with your exhale. And just keep doing that a few more times here. As you round, say hey to your babe. There's an area that feels good, feel free to hold. Especially as your pregnancy progresses, you may experience some low back pain. This baby starts to take up a little bit more room. Good, we'll find a neutral tabletop here. You might even wiggle those feet a little closer. Let's start with the left foot back behind us, so the left toes are down on the ground. You can stay just like this, you can even rock forward and back. Otherwise, extend that right arm forward for a bouncing tabletop. Try to flatten this back as much as you can, so engaging core we still have. Raise the left leg high. And hold. If this brings you pain, just bring that left foot down. Good, let's go ahead. Bring it back down into that tabletop. We'll just find the other side. Right toes come back. Same thing, you can rock back and forth just like this. Otherwise, left arm comes forward, right leg lifts. One side's always easier than the other, so again, try to flatten the back. Be aware of that. Never hold your breath. If you ever need to let out deep sighs, go for that. Let's find that tabletop position again. We'll find some cat-cows to get the breath again. Inhale, look high, and round. Inhale, look high, and round. One more here. Good, we'll find our malasana just for a moment. It's our yoga squat. So walking your hands back, bring your feet out as wide as the mat, or a little bit wider than your hips, heels in, toes out, and drop your seat. Hands to heart center. Your heels don't have to touch the ground. You can also place a block right underneath your booty. But this pose is so important to help you, especially with labor, as it broadens our pelvis, as well as consciously being aware of allowing that pelvic floor to soften. Place your hands on your knees for support. Let's come all the way up towards standing. Take a moment. And then place the hands on the hips, just little hip circles here. Think like you're using a hula hoop. And then let's rock around the other way. Good. So from here, let's adjust those feet hip distance and I'll face towards you. We'll reach those arms up high towards the sky. Interlace the index and thumb and lean towards your right side. Again, if it feels better, widen the stance a little bit. The further along in pregnancy, you might notice you want the feet a little bit wider than the hips, or even toes might turn in slightly. Just alleviating some pressure in the low back. Grow tall. Let's find the other direction. Creating space through the ribs. Hopefully making it a little easier to breathe. Grow tall. Exhale, hands release towards your side. So grabbing a block if you have one. If not, don't worry about it. We'll take this block in between your thighs. And then again, ground into your feet here. We'll slowly bring those hands to heart center or your baby. But we'll slowly bring it down, keeping the chest up. And then engage the glutes, engage the hamstrings as you come back up. So keep the knees pointing in the direction of the toes. Try not to shift forward. So just slowly lower, like we're sitting in a chair. And come back up. Keep squeezing this block the whole time. This is going to help strengthen the legs, help strengthen the pelvic floor. Hopefully preventing any incontinence, especially after baby's born. But if you do want more, arms can reach up and overhead. That's going to get the heart rate up more. You want to strive for at least 30 squats a day. An easy way to get those in is every single time you use the restroom. Little trick, little secret. But let's find 3 more. This time, let's hold. So the second you want to give up, tell yourself that you're strong, you're capable. Even let out a deep sigh, or even a scream. Sometimes you might laugh in an uncomfortable situation. So just notice how you deal with stress, and you got this. Let's find 3 more breaths. Good, let's return back to standing. You can remove that block down and just shake up the legs. We'll find that Malasana again. So finding yourself at the back of your mat, bring your heels in, toes out. Let's find yourself down into that little squat, and again sway from side to side. We'll shift forward, so slowly come forward, again in that tabletop position. We'll bring those hands on top of the blocks. So you're going to shift forward a little bit here. I have to bring my knees a little bit further back. We're going to work on some upper body. So getting our arms stronger, especially when we start to hold our newborn. So I want you to shift forward, keep the elbows in, lower as low as you can without the shoulders creeping forward, and then push back up. Try to keep your butt from avoiding sticking up, tuck the tailbone under. So let's do 4 more. So exhale, lower. And lift. For 3. And lift. You can always do this at the wall as well. For 2. And lift. Last one. Good. And then keep your hands on top of the blocks. You can even slide them forward, knees wide. Think more of like a puppy pose. So your booty might, or hips right up over the knees, even a little bit further forward. The head might come down. But nice release into the shoulders and the upper back. If this does hurt your shoulders though, you can always let the elbows come down and hands up and over the head. Or even using the hands on the blocks as well. Good. Slowly come back up into that tabletop position. So again, knees slightly wider than hip distance apart. We'll find our rocking the baby action. So let's bring that left hand towards the right side of your mat. Right arm high, and then right hand all the way towards the left side. Inhale, left arm high. And keep going just like that. You might have just heard my low back pop. Nice little release for me, which I'm thankful for. But this is a great exercise to allow yourself to link breath with movement, which allows you to stay focused, to stay present. And also allowing your baby to move possibly in a more optimal position, which can be extremely beneficial, especially during labor. each side. Good, and then finding a tabletop position. We'll find lizard on the left side. So bringing your left foot to the outside of that left hand. And I personally like to raise myself up a little bit, especially since baby's starting to take over a little bit. And just rock forward and back. Try not to let the hips spiral out, keep them pointing forward. Just lubricating the joints here. And remember, we have that relaxing hormone, which will make you a little bit more flexy than usual. So just find your edge and just dial it back a bit. I would say if you couldn't do splits before, and now you can, probably not a good thing. Good, so from here, we're gonna find a wide leg forward bend. So again, I like to use the blocks, curl the toes, and I'm just gonna walk those blocks over towards the right side, and then adjust your feet. So our wide leg forward bend, keep the edges of the feet parallel towards the sides of the mat, or even your toes slightly in. And really all you need is one block. I'm gonna place it right in front of my face, and just notice how it feels to kind of shift forward and back here. Good, more rocking the baby action. Left hand stays down, right arm high. Right hand comes down with the exhale. Inhale, left arm high. And keep going just like that. So the goal here isn't to bring your hands all the way flat to the floor. We're trying to keep that space in the back, really twisting from the ribs up. This can help with feelings of nausea, even heartburn. But instead of focusing on the back of the hamstrings as our target approach, is just again to create space in the hips and the back here. Let's find one more on the side that you're on. And then place those hands back on the block. Notice if you stop breathing. Good, so from here I want you to turn your heels in, toes out, hands on top of the knees. So I always call this the calendar shoot. I want you to let your left shoulder dip, look over the right shoulder. Bring it back to center. Now let the right shoulder dip, look over the left. Good, bring it back to center and let's come all the way up towards standing. So if you need to wiggle those feet a little bit closer together, I'm going to shift a little bit over towards off my blanket. Bringing those heels and toes out, we're going to find our picking up the baby squats. So make sure your knees cross over towards the direction of the toes. So with your inhale, reach your arms high. And then exhale, imagine picking up your babe. Use your inhale, come high. And exhale, pick up the babe. I always think of Lion King. You probably know which scene I'm talking about already. So if you want to bust out in song, you can do that too. Squats are so important, especially towards the end of your pregnancy. But if you start early on, it's going to get easier as you go. Let's find 3 more here. Again, you can find that mantra, breathing in, I am. Exhale, strong. then place those hands back on the hips. Take a moment, maybe you turn those feet in slightly, little hip circles. Take a sip of water whenever you need. And then rock around the other way. Good. From here, let's spin the left toes towards the top. Warrior two, arms to a T. So again, if you find that you feel really deep in the pose, try to dial it back a little bit. Feel the heels pull in, so we're finding that muscle activation. We'll find our side angle. So bring that left hand down. Left hand can rest on baby. Right arm might reach up and over, creating more space through the ribs. Gaze up or down. Notice if the jaws clenched or toes are clenching. Inhale, bring it back up. Warrior two, other way. So now left toes turn in, right toes pivot towards the side. We'll find that side angle. Right hand comes down. Whoops, left arm up and over. Good, let's slowly bring it back up. Rotate the feet again towards the side. We'll find that wide leg forward bend. And just take a moment, maybe just sway those hips from side to side. And notice how it feels to let just gravity take over. Let baby just hang out. We'll find the lizard now towards the back of your mat. So walk your hands with the blocks over towards the right side. Drop that left knee down. Right foot on the outside of that right hand. And same thing, you can rock back and forth. Notice if you want to elevate the blocks a little bit. This is a great exercise if you feel any SI pain in that low back. Just loosening up the muscles that can cause that stiffness that starts to find a little bit of pain here. But hopefully you're not feeling any SI pain. Good. Let's slowly find that tabletop position. So send that right leg back again. We're going to find our rocking cobras this time. So I'm actually going to come a little bit further back on my mat. Bringing my knees out wide. Toes will touch. And then you can push those blocks away from you. Sink back for a second. And just sway your booty from side to side. And I never like to limit anybody to link this one breath, one movement. So if an area feels good, like if you feel great staying just like this, you can stay here. Otherwise, I want you to look forward. Shift forward. Drop the hips, toes might touch. And then you can even look forward. Personally, I like to look down and just gently rock from side to side. So creating a great stretch through the front body as belly continues to grow. And also those hips, releasing any pressure in that low back. And then sinking back into that child's pose. Just take a few moments here. Good. And then shifting forward again. Drop those hips, looking over the shoulders, swaying from side to side. Again, if you feel better, just rocking forward and back, you can do that too. And then make your way back into that child's pose. slowly come back into that tabletop position. Wiggling those knees back in. Maybe just take a few little hip rocks here. And then let's just find a seat. Good, so once you find the seat, we're just gonna find our soles of the feet to touch like a butterfly. So from here, I feel like I'm leaning back, so I'm just gonna raise the ground a little bit. So I'm gonna place this block right underneath my booty. And now allow my toes or my feet to come together. Hands can rest on baby. And allow the soles of the feet to open. You can also find our Yoni Mudra, which is just a hand seal. You can interlace the fingers together, and the index or the pointer fingers touch, and the thumbs touch. And this represents our womb. So as you're here, the eyes might even close or look softly down. And if visualization works, or if you're not sure if it works for you or not, it might be something that you use in labor. So with your inhale, taking that nice deep breath, and with your exhale, you can visualize a lotus flower blooming. With every exhale, visualizing that blooming flower. Just allowing our heart rate to slow down a little bit. You have your breath, your postures, even your mindset to dig deep within. Connecting with you and your baby. And then blinking those eyes open if they're closed. We'll find our Shavasana, our final relaxation pose. So we're going to find what's called our flapping fish. So you can find yourself down on the ground. If you have a pillow at home and you want to place that between your knees, you're more than welcome. I'm going to use the block here. So I'm just going to lie on my left side. And then placing the block, you might have to adjust the height right in between the legs. And then I always just like to have the block beside me for my other hand to rest on top. But if lying on your side isn't comfortable and you prefer to be propped up a little bit, you can find that as well. But I want you to take a few moments to truly allow yourself to relax. To thank yourself for taking time for you and your baby, as you only get this moment once. Creating the strong bond that you already have. Knowing each breath that you take sends life, love, and compassion to your baby.
Feel free to stay here as long as you like. But I want to thank you for taking the time for sharing your practice with me and your babe. Namaste.